I love this on the side. David Hogg lost his pillow fight. Yes, welcome to the Naked Apple.
Welcome.
Here we are, once again.
On our own.
Now we've messed up the lyrics. That just doesn't work.
Proceed to dashboard. So, we reached a milestone in our downloads.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
We are over 1,000 total downloads over all time. So, round of applause for
Thank
all
you.
of you
Thank
that
you.
actually make that
Thank
happen.
you.
Because we don't listen to ourselves 1,000 times. So,
we only had to post how many episodes to get there?
not a lot, actually. It's 50, 60 episodes.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad.
I think.
That would be an average of 20 listens per episode.
Which is actually on par for where we're at right now.
Ah, perfect.
So we had some highlights there in the middle of this.
So everybody just go listen to all the episodes 5 more times each. I don't care if you actually listen, just put them on and
go
as
in,
many devices as you can get to.
Go to Apple, go to iHeartRadio, go to any of the podcasting platforms, download it, and then delete it because you already listened to it, so but that helps our numbers. But don't do that because that's dishonest.
Or do, whatever. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life.
Who are we?
Who are we to tell you how to live your life?
No, we're actually at, let's see, we are almost at a year.
We are almost at a year. Coming up pretty quick here.
Episodes. First episode was uploaded beginning of May. So, yeah.
So, we are 2 weeks away?
A couple more weeks, and we've been doing this for a year. We've been getting angry at microphones for almost a year.
I feel bad for this microphone. I have said things to this microphone that are absolutely horrible, and I don't apologize.
I'm sorry.
I said don't apologize.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Stop, don't come back.
Goodness. All the things.
Holy week. Batman. Holy week.
Well, I mean,
it hasn't been a holy week, but
the week after Easter, so yes, it was a wait, no.
No, that was
last week.
That was 2 weeks ago. Holy week is over, but this has been one this has been one heck of a week. Minnesota's on fire.
Half the country is on fire again.
Yeah, but the Chauvin trial isn't even over.
Oh, no. This is for
so they're
completely
not on fire
different
because of
reasons.
that.
Completely different reasons.
So I think the lawyers are off.
And
I think the jury is off the hook at this point.
I mean, not quite equally stupid, but definitely stupid reasons.
Yeah.
And no, the jury isn't the jury. Wow.
The jury
isn't off the hook because they didn't get sequestered during all of this. So, we're not trying to protect our jurors anymore for whatever reason. Good Lord.
The jury is in.
And out. And then back in again so you can follow them home and figure out who they are.
Yeah.
Bah.
Yeah.
Well, So there's that.
There's
We're
that.
officially handicapped.
Yes, we are.
So, I guess we should begin with some vitamin B.
Yeah,
I
we need
guess.
some vitamins to feel
So
better about
Time
ourselves.
to give, inject the vitamin B
Get some
straight
serotonin
into the
flowing.
serotonin flowing. Yeah, sounds like fun. All right, well, let's go over to our vitamin B anchor. Here we go. Welcome to your vitamin B. Today we have some pretty rattling news for you. Minneapolis City Council is going to offer looting passports.
Oh, good.
Much like the vaccine passport, these passports allow you to walk into any store you want and just take whatever you want for fun.
Nice. But do you need ID for those passports?
Well, no, the passports are ID.
But to get the passport,
no,
you have
because
to-
that would be racist.
Oh,
You can't ask for ID.
So they just got a
for
C-17
these.
flying overhead,
Yes.
just dropping
Just
them.
drops it right, just drops a phone right down for you to take the little QR code to, nope, I'm good to take whatever
Pass this QR code around.
I have a permit for that. This is just a phone app that says I do what I want.
Yes.
And related news, the Democrats said today voting needs to be so easy that even the most uninformed idiot can do it. I mean, wow. If it doesn't get much more plain than that, I thought this was supposed to be satire. Is this, do we have the right channel?
Are you sure you didn't go to Not the Bee?
I'm pretty sure. Is Babylon not the latest news? This is latest news. It's not the... Okay. Oh, like, seriously, though, because there's a couple of articles here that I'm like, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Having achieved peace in the Middle
Hold
East, U.S. to withdraw troops. That actually was a thing that they announced today, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right. In other news, am I being detained? Shouts a libertarian toddler as he's carried off to bed. Oh, those cute family moments.
This magic moment.
That poor child's going to end up in jail sooner rather than later.
Isn't it about time?
And in other political news, Biden infrastructure plan now includes $300 million to bail out essential looters,
Oh, essential loot.
who will then immediately be given a looting passport.
That's a clever one. Essential
that's-
looters.
Essential
I'll
looters.
give him that one. Genuine laugh.
And in your life news, experts are super smart and 100% reliable. Experts confirm. It is so comforting to get that.
After
news
conducting an
after
eternal
all
inter-
of this.
After conducting an internal review of ourselves, we've determined that we are indeed experts.
Indeed.
Did I get that right? Is that
Yeah, pretty much.
okay?
In other news, in Boston, a good Samaritan sees a man being oppressed by police, rushes over to loot a Target. Solidarity right there.
My man.
Doesn't get much better.
I'm with you.
And now we move on to our other infrastructure czar. Pete Buttigieg proposes separate highway lanes for each race. This to coincide with his taxation on every mile that you drive.
Why do I feel like they actually would do that?
I don't know, but I assume that the white lane is a toll lane.
So it's going to be the best one?
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's going to be the worst one because that money's all going to go to making sure that the BIPOC lanes are taken care of because, racial equality.
Or something.
Yep. So, and last but not least, media is relieved to be covering the good kind of riots again.
I wash my hands of this weirdness.
And that has been your Babylon Bee. Vitamin B. Gosh damn it, Ecom, you can't even remember the name of your own segment.
We gotta slap him. That last one was supposed to be funny. But it's not.
This is like half of the articles today. We're like, wait a minute, guys.
But that last one especially, because we have that.
You're not supposed to be reporting the real news. Come on now.
So we'll start with there. We'll start there. Reporters are trying to correct the police chief of Minneapolis on what is going on in Minneapolis.
Oh, that's lovely, because the reporters would know much better what's going on in Minneapolis
than the chief of police.
The chief would, obviously, because they're the ones that make up the news.
You're not wrong. They do make up the news.
They can make up anything.
Yeah, here it is. Just go ahead and play this here.
Let's just go ahead and play that. Yeah.
Let me hold on. Before we do that, let me unmute it.
It might be good if you unmuted that.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
And then do that.
And then do that. Yes, there we go.
So,
roll that beautiful bean footage.
Bring that back. And
what was your decision to issue a dispersal order while they were peacefully protesting in front of the police station? What led to you to issue a dispersal order, and then on the back end of that 10-minute dispersal order, then to issue out CO2 canisters and gas for the crowd?
So,
Can you talk to us about that?
just so everybody's clear, I was front and center at the protest, at the riot.
Can you pause that for a second?
Maybe.
An officer.
I would like to kind of dissect that question a little bit.
A little bit?
A little bit. Because they have footage in the background of this line of police officers in riot gear.
Yes, when the police just shot tear gas into this peaceful crowd to disperse them.
No, even before the tear gas comes out, you see these police officers standing there, having things thrown at them and being yelled at. So you can throw the word peaceful out of there to start with. And then I want to go to his question. Because he's like, what made you give a disbursement order, and then on the back end of the 10-minute disbursement order to then start forcing people to disperse? So
why did you disperse people after telling them to disperse?
Let me clarify this. So the reporter legitimately just asked, why did you tell all these people that were throwing things at you to go away, and then 10 minutes later make them go away when they wouldn't go away when you were telling them to go away?
Common sense is dead.
Seriously, though.
Critical thinking is in critical care. And logic has found lodging up in the mountains.
Okay, you can continue on.
All right.
It was just one of the things that stood out to me through this playthrough.
Front and center at the protest, at the riot. We did not.
Don't do that. There was no riot at this
There was. So
It's not a riot. Don't do that.
We were being the officers.
All right, so I'm willing to bet this police chief would have been a little bit more stern with him if he wasn't up all night dealing with this.
Yes.
He's just, you can see it. He's all red. And seeing as how Minnesota is basically still in winter since they're so far north.
Well, and
I'd imagine that redness isn't because he got a lot of sun.
I want to point something else out. So, police chief, so he's probably one of the senior officers, been doing this quite a while, and knows the ins and outs pretty well, right?
Right.
You would think.
I would presume.
Being
yes.
a police chief, that's probably
Yes.
a pretty easy presumption to make.
Not just some Joe Schmo off the street.
However, he is in charge of a contingency of other officers which, if you look at the police statistics in specifically Minneapolis and in Minnesota in general, over the last year, since George Floyd, since the riots, since all these things, since the defund the police movement and all these things.
They're not riots. They weren't riots.
They were riots.
Protests.
Just sheesh. Sheesh. Control F
peaceful.
the word riot.
Control
anyway.
F the word riot.
Anyway, since the riots and all these things have been going on, the numbers of police have fluctuated quite a bit. And
the numbers of officers?
The number of officers. And so I would think that it's a pretty easy assumption to make that a lot of the good, well-trained, decent officers at some point in the last year have said this isn't worth it and left because people don't respect them. They don't appreciate the work that they do. So what you're left with is new officers who are in vital need of training, and maybe officers that probably weren't that great, who probably
are more than happy to
on
get
the
in a
verge
fight.
of being fired anyway, but now they can't be because there's
the
no other
manpower.
officers to take their place, and officers that are only there for the power trip. They don't care about what the public thinks of them and other things like that. So and not to say that all the officers left are that way. I'm sure there are still some that are clinging on as this ideal of protect and serve and whatever
right.
that they are there for. But I would think that there's probably
it's not as balanced as it once was.
A discrepancy there in the new era of defund the police. So he's probably not only stressed from the situation going on, but the fact that he has to be in the middle of everything because his officers are inexperienced, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
He's on the front lines of this because he needs all hands there, especially since all hands may not be as experienced as he wants them to be.
Right. And what better time to have that kind of problem than in the middle of everything that's going on when there has never been more scrutiny of every action a police officer makes.
Yep. Yeah. We need to make officers wear body cameras so then we know things. Oh, it turns out the body cameras actually vindicate a lot of officers from crimes you were saying they did. Yeah, well, it's racism because look at this video vantage point. That's 8 minutes of a 20-minute video.
Yeah. About that.
That were putting themselves in harm's way were being pelted with frozen cans of pop. They were being pelted with concrete blocks. And yes, we had our helmets on and we had other protection gear, but an officer was injured, hit in the head with a brick. That was a Hennepin County deputy. He was transported to the hospital. So we had to make decisions. We had to disperse the crowd because we can't allow our officers to be harmed. And I've already answered the question, I believe, about your lighting. I know that's a big deal with you, and I understand that, but I thought I've explained that myself. So that is, I told you it's my decision, and that's why I made that decision.
Yeah, there's little smoke grenades, tear gas, whatever going off. Let's see, is there any else?
We have the evidence. We can show that to you in the future. But once we got pelted, then we responded in kind. Would I do things differently last night?
Last night?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We had a situation.
Would I respond differently?
Also,
no.
Since this report, Chief Gannon, who's the man here speaking,
this guy,
and the officer Kim Potter, that actually was the one involved with the shooting over the weekend, both of them resigned today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
after 2 consecutive nights of rioting and looting,
and I'm sure a lot
in
of
response
that had
to
to
the
do
shooting.
with him talking to the press and we had the riot last night. Don't call it that. It's a peaceful protest. Yeah, sure, whatever. I'm done.
Right.
I laugh, but that's they do this to themselves, not the police chief guy. The city, the reporters, the people. You do this to yourselves, where you don't respect the police. It looks like this is body cam from the incident that they're protesting over without having all the facts before they start destroying their city. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Not to say that what happened isn't a terrible tragedy. Not to say that it was wrongful or any of that. That it wasn't wrongful or any of that, I mean. But you have to look at all of the facts before you make a judgment. You have to.
yeah.
And
And you have to, I don't know, maybe let it go to court before you decide whether or not you're going to destroy your city.
right. And maybe rather than destroying your city, maybe actually do something productive.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, run for city council.
Or go become a police officer so you can
become a
change the
police
force by
officer.
being an officer on the force.
Or run for attorney general, or become a lawyer, or
Run for sheriff.
join a program that educates people on how to not be retards around police.
Or create a program that teaches people to not be retards around the police.
All of these things are non-destructive ways to accomplish
the
what you
list
want.
of things that you can do should have rioting somewhere around not on it.
Everything we suggested are ways to get people to join your cause, whereas destroying your city is a great way to get your entire city to hate you. Mm-hmm. As well as hate the police for not stopping you.
You know, the last time I checked, destroying other people's property was on the list of things that cause people to be racist, not cause people to stop being.
Is that
racist.
Is that how that works?
would-
What if it's
I would think if you want somebody to love you or to like you in any way, shape, or form, breaking their windshield with a brick is probably not the first reaction I would take in a situation.
really?
Yeah. I mean, just in my
So you're telling me
purview
that's not
of
in the book of how
what
to win friends and
you-
influence people.
I mean, it might be. I've never read that book. It could be chapter 10 there. I don't know.
I don't know. I only read the first 9 chapters.
Skimmed them, really, if we're being honest. It was a free demo from Audible or something.
Just skip forward every 30 seconds. Lost
Turn,
interest.
I turned the read speed to like 4.5. Sounds like a chipmunk reading Christmas songs to me. It was fantastic.
Funny at first, but after 9 chapters,
After 9 chapters, you just don't want to do it anymore.
had enough. All right, so private property can't do that.
Yeah.
So government property can do that, right? That's
Well, I
allowed?
mean, theoretically,
so long as it's not,
as long as it's not a
so long as it's not where Congress sits, I
right.
guess.
Right.
So in Portland, riots are not starting, continuing from since January, where so before they've attacked the federal courthouse, which I thought that was something like insurrection or something to attack a federal
along
building,
those lines.
but there wasn't anybody inside the building.
I mean,
So it's not
I
the
mean-
same. So what about if people are trying to barricade ICE officials inside of their building and then lighting the building on fire? Does that
wait.
count as insurrection, or is that still a mostly peaceful protest? Maybe.
maybe. Maybe. I think it's mostly peaceful.
Mostly.
It's mostly peaceful.
Fiery, but mostly peaceful.
You know, the thing that I think is funny about the idea of a mostly peaceful protest is that entails that it is at least partially violent. Which like you switch those descriptions and see who wants to show up to your party. It's like, we're gonna have a mostly peaceful party. Okay, cool, I'll be there. We're gonna have a partially violent party.
Wait, what? It's kind of like when you hear a weather report. You can tell how happy or depressed the weatherman is depending on how partly cloudy it is or how mostly sunny it is.
Oh, right, yes.
It's the same thing. But yeah, here's a few video clips from let's see, the mainstream news like Grace Morgan. Oh wait, Chris Lands. No, Alex Powell. Wait, I don't. Chris Land. See, NBC, CBS, CNN. There's. Nothing. Nothing from them about this. Interesting. But yeah, here's a fire they tried to set there.
Did you hear about that one?
With their Congo music. Which one?
BLM took over the Iowa State Capitol building last Thursday?
Huh? All right.
Gateway Pundit is the link I have. Iowa Capitol, yeah. They basically did the exact same thing that happened on the 6th, only with Iowa's state capital.
So you go ahead and read. I'm going to do the PolitiFact thing here because Black Lives Matter protest at Iowa Capitol was an insurrection like that on January 6th at the U.S. Capitol.
Okay, so this is Gateway Pundit.
And PolitiFact is saying, no, it's not the same.
The insurrectionist event was planned and organized on Facebook. A flyer for the event said that Iowan politicians are passing racist and dangerous bills. They don't think we're paying attention. They're wrong. The flyer went on to say, we need your voice to kill the bills. Be there and be loud. Black Lives Matter protest. West side of Iowa State Capitol, April 8th, 11:30 a.m. This is the actual flyer that I'm reading here. Iowan politicians are passing racist and dangerous bills. They don't think we're paying attention. They're wrong. We need your voice to kill the bills. Be there and be loud. Many of the militants appear to have been arrested, and there's a bunch of videos. So that's the entire wording of the article, and then it's all videos.
All right.
Like live streams from Twitter.
All right, so PolitiFact says organizers of Black Lives Matter related rally in Iowa on April 8th obtained a permit, entered the Iowa Capitol in an orderly way, and protested bills. One arrest was made. So how is that different from January 6th, when they had a permit to hold a rally at the DC Mall? And then they were protesting. Many of the rioters in Washington on January 6th were seeking to overturn the results of the presidential election, stormed into the U.S. Capitol, and committed extensive damage. They broke a window. 2 windows? 3? Five people died after the insurrection, and hundreds have been arrested or charged. So 5 people died after. One person died during.
Yeah,
and it was shot, and it was a protester shot by police. Rioter, sorry, it was a rioter shot by police because they were breaking into the building. I'm not ashamed to call them a rioter for that.
Okay, I will say though, watching the video, I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying the insurrection thing on this one either. There's one guy. Well, no, that did get kind of whoo. Ooh. It was mostly fine until the police arrested one dude who was doing something. I couldn't really see because everybody was blocking what he was doing. But he was obviously doing something, and the cops that were already there pushed in and arrested him. Just him.
Right.
And then the rest of the crowd that was there started, like, shoving and attacking the cops.
Interesting.
So I sent the link with those to you.
Okay.
But you have the Washington Examiner.
This is the...
That's the ice one.
thing,
Okay.
Yeah. It was the gateway.
But yeah,
Pundit,
it's...
though.
I mean, yeah, the first video I watched, it's like they're just all sitting in the like common area at the state capitol. Like they just pushed their way into the like front foyer and are like lying on the floor.
Yeah.
But then the second video is
yeah.
Hey, bro. So you... Man, what the fuck, dude?
Oh, excuse you, sir.
wow, seriously. Pardon your French.
Yo, that's a kid, bro. Yo, that's a kid, bro. That's a... Hey, what?
Yeah, see, you don't see anything from the beginning. There's this dude walking around. And he walks around a corner as these cops like take this guy down.
Hold on. This says live right here. Did you see that edit?
Uh-huh.
Goes over here and edit.
Hey, what's the deal? Hey, whoa, what you doing, bro? What you doing, bro?
And then they're all pushing and shoving, trying to take the cop off the guy.
What the fuck are you doing,
This
bro?
other cop comes in to push them off the cop that's arresting.
That's a fucking kid, bro.
Yeah.
What are you doing, bro? Yo, that's a fucking kid.
Yeah, that's enough of you saying things. I don't care if it's a kid. I don't care if it's a 14 or 15-year-old girl that's hijacking a car and killing a guy with it. They deserve to be arrested if they're breaking the law.
Which, I mean, we couldn't see what they were doing from this video angle, so
Yeah.
who knows? But I would assume if a group of cops walk into a group like that and pick one person, there's probably a reason.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
either way,
Anywho.
yeah, I don't know if I agree with the whole insurrection thing that they're
No.
throwing out there. That's just stupidity, but whatever.
That's a stretch.
Yeah, it's a stretch.
But yeah, Minneapolis, burning. Why?
What did you do?
I hit play, and apparently
Why did you
it's
do it?
slow motion. This is when they finally retreat from the facility. They start hitting the crowd with pepper balls. I'd hate to be a cop.
Seriously, though.
You have the only support you have is from people that are flying the back the blue flags that you can at least visualize and see and all that.
Right.
Everyone else is, for all you know, waiting for you to turn your back. The news isn't afraid to confront you in your face and tell you that you're reporting on things wrong. So, yeah. I don't envy them. I am thankful for those that actually are proper police officers and do everything they can to make sure things are right and good while staying good themselves. I just wish there were more of you guys. A lot more.
More good cops, less bad cops.
Speaking of Black Lives Matter.
And honestly, let's get rid of all the stupid, meaningless laws that lead to unnecessary interactions.
Yes.
Because that's 90% of the problem.
Yes.
If a cop can't interact with you unless you're actually doing something egregious, then there's no reason for them to unrighteously exercise power.
Do Do you know why I pulled you over? At 3 a.m, going 10 miles an hour over the speed limit?
Not really.
Best guess I have is you got to pay some bill. I don't know.
Well, it's for your protection. Did I have an accident yet? Do you know how often I drive down this road doing 20 over? I'm not going to tell you the answer to that question. It's a hypothetical.
Hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically speaking,
Let's say I broke a land speed record on this highway.
If speed caused accidents, I would be dead on this road hundreds of times over. You were writing a ticket to made a quota.
Yeah, we don't have quotas.
Uh-huh.
Why are you out here in 3 a.m? At the end of the month. We've been getting a lot of complaints. From who? At 3 a.m. in the middle of nowhere on a freeway.
Why is it that I feel like there's a backstory to this bitterness?
No, I was not caught in a speed trap from a cop that was operating outside of his jurisdiction.
Oh. So my first ever pullover.
First ever.
I was 15 years old. Just moved to Utah from Idaho. So I had my Idaho driver's license.
Right.
So technically, if I had lived in Utah before, I wouldn't be able to drive. I wouldn't be able to have a driver's license. But because I moved from Idaho, I still had my Idaho license,
right,
which counted.
Right.
I had this lovely little, it was I don't even remember what year it was, but it was a Chevy Pup, or Chevy Love. It was a Chevy Love. And tiny, tiny little car, or truck. It was a truck, but it's the size of a car. It's car cab with a truck bed on it, basically.
Right.
Me and one of my friends could lift the entire vehicle off of the ground, just the two of us, in high school. Okay? So I'm driving to work at 2 o'clock in the morning on I-215, and I get pulled over, and the cop walks up to the window. He's like, "You have any idea why I pulled you over?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, but I'm not going to admit it." And he's like, "Do you know how fast you were going?" And I'm like, "Honestly, no." And he says, "I clocked you doing 90. And I started laughing. And he's like, "What are you laughing at?" And I said, "My speedometer only goes to 80. He walked around my truck, looked through my driver window at my speedometer, looked at me and said, "Have a nice night," and walked back to his truck.
I got nothing. I can't. Have a nice night.
Which I thought was funny because it was 2 o'clock in the morning and I was going to work. It was a good morning for me. And the dumbest thing is, the first ticket I ever got was for 2 over.
That's dumb.
Yeah. It was great. Karma. Anyway, moving on.
Karma.
Did I eat enough time for you to find what you were looking for?
Almost.
Almost. Well, that's too bad because I'm out of stories.
That's all I got.
It's all right. Maybe I'll find something to fill the time. Like, oh, I know. That BLM leader bought a...
Yes, that's the direction I was going.
So, I mean, it's not like we didn't see this coming. I mean, they practically told us this was going to happen when she said...
do you have an ideological frame? Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists.
Oh. And like any good trained Marxist, you make sure that you are
get
the
all
one
the money
that is at the top of the Marxist list, so you have all of the money.
What was it? $1.4 million house?
Uh-huh. It was not just that either. So we've reported a few times on BLM since May, June.
Oh,
when we did our
yeah.
But why Marxism? That's why Marxism.
This is the thing we have to understand about this story, though. She bought the house in Los Angeles, so it's probably like a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, like shack. $1.4 million.
$1.4 million. That barely gets you in the door.
It was like, who did she rob to get that?
Patrice Colors. And I'm trying to find something in here. What is her name?
Which one?
Da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-dum.
Ba-da-da-dum.
Ba-da-da-dum. Ba-da-da-dum. Ba-da-da-dum. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Black Lives Matter family. Ba-da-da-dum.
I can't find it. Anyways, I know it's here, but I can't find what I'm looking for without taking too long. So, anyways, the home, which features 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, is nestled in Topanga Canyon and has a separate guest house on the property, according to Celebrity Real Estate Blog, which reported the transaction last week.
I think that's Topanga County. You know, like
Topanga.
Like Boy Meets World, Topanga.
Topanga. Never watched Boy Meets World. The property, which is about 15-minute drive from Malibu beaches, features bamboo floors and vaulted ceilings, according to the listing. Once a hippie enclave in the 1960s. Oh, my gosh.
Well.
There it is. Look at that.
I mean,
look at that lovely, lovely home. Isn't that great?
wow.
Yeah,
That ain't bad.
We reported... So we talked about Black Lives Matter and how the money just kind of disappears.
House would be worth at least $450 in Utah.
At least. A solid $450.
A solid $450. It's got a 2-car garage.
$450.
And a loft. You see that mother-in-law apartment there?
Yeah.
That's money. Especially if there's a lock on the outside of the door.
Yeah, so when we first talked about Black Lives Matter in our Marxist episodes way back then, the money just kind of disappeared that we could follow. It just kind of meh to this web of places. And then a few months ago, we reported that Black Lives Matter had been given donations, a lot of money, and the individual chapters were crying out to the Black Lives Matter Inc. So where's our money? So we've been getting all this money for Black Lives Matter, but we're not seeing that money ourselves. Well, apparently she got enough in this nonprofit to get $1.4
Well, she
million.
also has a multi-platform deal with Warner Brothers, so...
Yes, and this is... I don't think it reports it in here, but this is one of 3 other houses that she has. And she's looking at getting another house in the Caribbean, same place where Tiger Woods and others have houses, and it's $5 million is the lowest price house of where she's looking in the Caribbean. The one that she just bought in Georgia, you know, the racist place, Georgia.
What?
Has an airport.
So this is the least nice of the houses that she has.
This is chump change of everything.
It actually is, just from those couple of pictures, it is a pretty nice house. It's not bad.
Let's see.
I mean, it's not my taste, but it's a nice house.
It's nice. It's nice.
There's a problem, though. It's a little bit racist. The walls are far too white.
Been whitewashed too many times. This is the same Black Lives Matter who's one of the founders or one of the CEOs or something like that bombed the U.S. Capitol back in the 80s. Oof. So...
Look at that ceiling in there. It's blonde. It's a White House with blonde roof. Well, I mean, she is a Marxist, so I guess that makes sense.
She's a trained Marxist. She's trained to not be at the bottom of the list of Marxists. If you're going to be a Marxist, make sure you are an influential Marxist, because then you can be a capitalist while everyone else suffers under Marxism.
I'm going to hell for that joke. Anyway.
Should we go to China?
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You mean Chinada?
Chinada.
Or
China.
do you mean actually China?
Well, China, because they don't really let Christians worship, so they do everything they can to keep them from worshiping.
Right. Yes, they do that, but so does Chinada.
This story here from China, I don't always picture snow with China, but hundreds of Canadian... Wait.
Like I said, Chinada.
Hundreds of... They spelled China wrong.
Canada?
It's like they pulled letters out of a hat and said A in between each letter.
Huh.
Yeah, that's weird that they spelled China wrong. Anyways, hundreds of Canadian Christians gathered on Sunday at the Grace Life Church of Edmonton, Alberta. Government officials shut down the church for allegedly violating public COVID-19 health orders. They built a fence around the church to keep people from going to
church.
Mm-hmm.
Chinada strikes again.
Chinada. Here's aerial shot. They just built a wall around it. You guys don't need to go to church. Some backstory to it is the pastor was arrested and put in solitary confinement for 45 days.
Son of a... You done messed up, Aaron!
Yeah, this is after they had released, 40 criminals from that same prison because of COVID concerns.
Yeah. So the criminals can go free, but the pastor's got to be locked down. Lock and key. He's too dangerous to be out on the streets preaching and stuff.
In the spirit of COVID safety, placed before the people were 40 men who had committed heinous crimes that they were in solitary confinement prison. And a guy who said, let me just go to church and teach my people. Is this sounding familiar yet?
Yeah.
And the people said, give us the murderers.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
the people didn't in this case. The government did in this
did.
case.
I love this on the side. David Hogg lost his pillow fight.
How beta do you have to be to lose a pillow fight?
That brings me more joy than it should.
A blessing from the Lord. God be praised.
God be praised. It's Mike Lindell offering supplications after the news.
Anyway, health services physically closed the church because they wouldn't stop going to church. How dare you?
How dare you worship the Lord?
And you would think with all these things they're doing, well, people must be getting sick like crazy there. No, there's actually nobody in the church has ever tested positive for COVID. And the town itself has had almost zero cases, if not zero cases. Yeah, then some people showed up to start tearing down the fence. Some people in the town that were angry at it, and people with the church were trying to tell them, "Hey, don't tear it down. We don't need the building. We can worship somewhere else." And they did. They met in secret and worshipped in somebody's house and they blurred out all their faces so that they wouldn't know who was meeting secretly to worship God as they deemed was proper for them to do so.
Oh, that's funny. Several of the protesters that were protesting them closing it down pulled out musical instruments and were playing "O Canada" at the gate by the church.
Yeah, Canada has lost its marbles under Trudeau.
Did they ever have all of their marbles?
Concerning. Very concerning.
Well, that's Canada. That's not the United States.
What happens up there eventually finds its way down here. And lest you forget, I believe it was in Idaho where people were arrested, cited, given tickets for going to church at the beginning of the pandemic.
What? In Idaho?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. California, people are just barely being able to go back to church. Are you fact checking me?
Yes. There's no way it was Idaho. Oh my gosh.
Was I right?
No.
Oh, I was right.
Well, kind of. Idaho man arrested for not wearing a mask at outdoor worship service in Moscow, Idaho, which, I mean, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah, there's a lawsuit in Idaho right now of Idaho City sued over arrests at church singing event in Moscow. Yeah. Hey, you can't be doing this worship service outside in your cars singing.
Idaho, stop it. Stop it.
Get some help.
Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah. So there's that.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
Because this is all about your health and safety. And while we're here, found a fun map. A fun little map.
It's a map.
It's the map. It's the map. It's the map. It's the map. It's the map. So this map here, the mask map. You don't need Google Maps anymore or Apple Maps if any of you weirdos actually use that.
Why would you? It takes you weird ways.
Don't know.
I can always tell. So whenever I'm riding my motorcycle in a group of people, I can always tell when the leader of the pack is using Apple Maps because it takes you the weirdest, most dumbass ways to get to places.
Why don't we go that way? The map says this way. Yeah, but it's right there.
It's literally right there. But it says we have to go 3 blocks down, 2 blocks over, 1 block back, and then up. Oh, it's right here.
Yeah, so this mask map, themaskmap.com, you can use it to see what different businesses' mask policies and enforcement is like. And it's even got little handy icons. So orange icon with a fully masked face. I haven't seen one yet here. This appears to be the Portland area. Yep, because that's where we are. Absolutely. There's a gray one.
That's where our VPN says that we are.
There's a gray mask here, so that means that there's kind of...
It's a safe way.
It means that there's kind of a mask thing that... I imagine this means that they have a sign that says must wear a mask, but if you walk in without one, they're not really going to do anything.
Care.
Or if you walk in with a mask and it's hanging below your nose or under your chin, they're not really going to say say anything because you have a mask.
Which would make sense with the picture being
Yes.
a mask below the nose.
Yes. And then blue with just a face means a no mask enforcement. Yeah. And you can leave reviews and stuff to help them actually dictate what the
Nice.
policies are. So if you visit these places, you can go to them and leave a review, even if it's a place that isn't marked yet.
Oh, and the owner can claim the location. That's awesome.
So like right here in this Portland area, this Taco Bell and this Goldie's Texas style barbecue, I feel like that's not a tasty place in Portland. Goldie's Texas style barbecue. But yeah, so if you went to this Taco Bell, for example, that doesn't have anything, you can say it had
No masks
no
or
mask
masks.
or a mask, and you can leave a review clarifying
That's what
that
the
or the
some
other.
masks means. It means it's getting mixed reviews.
it's getting mixed reviews. Yes.
Some people are told they have to, other people are not.
Yes. Just depends on which shift you show up, I guess. Yeah. I used it on my way home from a little trip we did over the weekend because that's when I had received the mask from my Faja, this website thing. Zimap from my Faja.
The map.
The mask map.
The mask map.
And we were at a place, Zaxby's, and no signs on the doors, not even its COVID standard pandemic signs. So we walk in all naked-faced. Kid was mopping the floor, and then he's like, oh, people are here. He goes running behind the counter to take our order like any good employee would do. And then I noticed that on the plexiglass on the register, they got two signs that say if you are not eating food or drinking a beverage, you must wear a mask. It's awful convenient of you to place that sign inside the store at the register after I've walked through the entire restaurant to get to the register.
Yes.
But I decided to pay no mind to it because I thought, well, maybe they just didn't get to taking it off because they would have had that on the front doors as well if it's really a big deal. As I'm about to order, I take my deep breath to start stating my order, and the kid cuts me off. Oh, do you have a mask?
Does it look like I have a mask? Is there one on my face?
So I left a review. Zaxby's, I hate you. They got rid of their shakes, and I
terrible.
hated them since. I finally go back. Oh, do you have a mask?
When I'm not with my wife, I'm a total smartass about it. Do you have a mask? Oh, yeah, it's just invisible.
Yeah, that's the only thing that stopped me was before I could really say much. My wife pulled masks out of her pockets and started handing them out. It's like, whatever. It's not,
You get a mask, and you get a mask, and
not-
you get a mask.
it's after 9 o'clock. We're trying to get home so we can go to bed, so I can wake up to go to work. Whatever. But yeah, so there's that fun little blessing for us.
That's lovely.
That's lovely. We got time for one more. Which one do we want?
Well, duh. Second. The second. I plead the second.
Second of all?
Yes. I have an actual recording here of Biden's speech from
his speech last week.
his speech. Yeah.
I am the Senate.
I am the Senate. Do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Biden thought he knew some things about guns and gun laws.
Oh, this poor sap.
Unfortunately, he was not talking to us. So look at him. He's so stern. Somewhere in there is his eyes. Those black slits have eyes in them, I guess.
Can't tell if he's trying to make a point or needs to really go to the bathroom. And is
He needs to
trying
go
hold it
number
in.
one really bad.
Get out of my way. I gotta go. I need to go. Oh, never mind.
All right, so multiple
pooped.
governors have signaled that they will not put up with Biden's Second Amendment attack, saying that he is out of control. This is from the Daily Wire, right? Yes. Biden announced a series of actions which he articulated during press conference where he made multiple false claims. That is true that they were false claims. Targeting two types of gun parts, pistol braces and chunks of plastic and metal that are unfinished firearms. Ghost guns. The Biden administration also will be publishing model red flag legislation for states to consider.
Which is atrocious.
Yeah. This comes just a couple of weeks after the Biden administration urged the Supreme Court to uphold a warrantless gun confiscation case. We covered that a couple months ago, I think now.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous case, especially when coupled with a red flag laws. Yeah, my ex-husband is like out of his mind. All right, we'll go take his guns.
Yeah. So one of the best examples of why red flag laws are stupid is, what city was it in? St. Louis? I don't remember. But there was a doctor who had a man's guns taken away for Yelp reviews. Because the man wrote a bunch of negative Yelp reviews on the doctor. And so the doctor filed a report that the man was mentally unstable and they went and took his guns away.
Oh.
Vindictive doctor. Vindictive ex-wife.
Angry neighbor. Yeah.
My neighbor doesn't want to split my fence with me. He owns guns. Let's get him in
owns
trouble.
Guns. I heard he's a Trump supporter, and last I saw, that's terrorism.
He must have been an insurrectionist.
I think he said he was there. Apparently, they're all Southerners. White House Secretary Jen Psaki said...
The P is not silent.
No, I refuse to silence P's. All P's deserve to be heard.
Never in my life has the P been silent, so why should it be now?
All P's deserve to be believed.
Believe all P's.
Believe all P's. Hear all P's. Believe all P's.
I don't want to hear all P's. That sounds gross.
Following Biden's press conference, the president's actions were his initial actions. Oh, initial. That means there's more. But wait, there's more. That there will be more. And that he intends to use the power of his presidency to crack down on America's constitutionally protected Second Amendment rights.
Come and get it, Joe.
So, I saw one thing where it was a picture of a M1 Grand.
Oh, yes. It's a lovely rifle.
And the text with it was, these are the type of guns that don't need to be banned, unlike the weapons of war of the AR-15. They were quickly shut down by everyone pointing out that that gun has killed more people than the AR-15 has. And probably even more people than the M4, which the M4 is a model of the AR-15.
The AR-15 is a model of the M4.
Yeah.
Yes.
However you want to look at that. So, having an M1 Grand, which has a larger round, does a lot more damage and looks a lot cooler.
But I mean, paint it black. Like,
I mean,
black guns matter, man. Black guns matter.
BGM. This is Governor Abbott from Texas said, Biden is threatening our Second Amendment rights. He just announced a new liberal power grab to take away our guns.
Says the state that requires a permit to open carry in your vehicle.
One battle at a time.
No, all the battles at a time. I will die on this hill.
I saw another thing where it said Republicans need to stop being on the defensive with the guns. Time to go on the offensive. Get rid of the National Firearms Act.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. All of it. Yes.
We will not allow this in Texas. It's time to get legislation making Texas a Second Amendment sanctuary state passed and to my desk for signing. Okay. Alaska Governor Mike Dunleavy said that Biden's actions won't save lives or stop criminals. That is correct. And would only disarm law-abiding citizens. That is correct. No, because it says... Police come knocking on your door. Mr. Smith, we're going to have to confiscate your Prius. Why? Well, because Mr. Johnson down there got drunk and killed a bunch of people with his Prius, so we got to take your Prius. But I didn't kill people with... No.
I didn't drink and drive.
It's fine. It's just Priuses, it turns out, are extremely dangerous when drunk people are behind the wheel, so we need to take that from you. But I don't drink. Yes, but you own a Prius. So we have to take that from you. We'll compensate you for it. Here's $400.
I don't own a Prius. I lost it in a tragic boating accident.
It's the same precedence, except this one is in the Constitution. You have a constitutional right to have a firearm. That was just for muskets. And the First Amendment was just for newspapers. So get off Facebook.
Doesn't the First Amendment also apply to churches and gatherings and protests and...
Oh, wait, you can't do any of those for the last year. Let's see. Iowa governor, a whole bunch of South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. The portion of the Second Amendment that states shall not be infringed, writing, Biden claims that his actions won't infringe on the Second Amendment. That's false. Yes, because...
They're incredibly infringing.
Because... if you do anything to the Second Amendment, you have infringed on the Second Amendment. If they're willing to do this to the only amendment in the Bill of Rights that says shall not be infringed, how willing do you think they are to do that to any of the others?
And for those that don't understand what these red laws are and why red flag laws are and why we're so against them, these red flag laws are worded in such a way that they ignore due process and your right to face your accuser.
Yes.
So someone can anonymously tip off police that they don't think you should own a firearm, and the police can come without a warrant and take your guns away.
For your safety.
For your safety.
You need to stay home for your safety. You need to wear a mask for your safety. He who will give up his liberty, essential liberty, for temporary security deserves neither and will lose both.
And
Benjamin Franklin.
I hate it when people use if it saves even one life. What? Like, you're just going to give away everything that you have in life if it saves just one life, and then no guarantee that it will.
I believe it was Captain America said it best. We don't trade lives.
We don't trade lives. Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, and even that argument is it saves, if it saves even one life, is bullshit. Because the number of lives saved by law-abiding, gun-owning citizens who defend themselves with a firearm is more than triple the number of people killed in mass shootings and gun violence in a year, every single year.
Yep. This is a subject that I have written research papers on multiple times through my scholarly life because I don't care what the teacher says. I'm going to write about topics I don't want to write about. Mm-hmm. And this was back in 2010. The numbers that I have off my head. But so part of the concern was that, all these guns are going to make it more dangerous for police officers. That obviously doesn't matter today to this group of people. But anyway, but there are multiple documented cases of people with concealed weapons permits who actually save police officers' lives. And that used to be a good thing, but now I guess it's a bad thing, as we covered earlier, that police officers' lives will be saved. Unless they're the DC Capitol Police, then those are the hero police officers. Unless it's a guy that follows the Nation of Islam, then we'll just sweep that under the rug, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the officer that died. But praying enough of the prayers, as Joe Biden said, for gun stuff. I hope you followed that logic circle with me, because
it was very circular.
I didn't.
Who are you? Who are so wise in the ways of science? I'm Arthur.
I am Arthur.
You were saying 2010 numbers.
Yeah.
Before you got sidetracked there.
That was it. The
was
2010 stuff.
Oh.
I remember that was one of the things that I found among
was
others.
that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Yeah. That's all I want to talk about. The news. I'm done with the news.
Yeah.
Because everything else we got is just going to make me pissed off. That being said,
is there something else you want to talk about?
I keep getting this feeling.
Okay. Here we go. Here we go. That's the soundbite I need.
I keep getting this feeling that there is an awakening that's coming. I don't know if that feeling is doom and gloom awakening, like something bad's going to happen and it's going to wake us up, or, fingers crossed, another great awakening where people are just like, oh, that's actually what reality is, not everything I've been spoon-fed for the last 30 years. I feel like it's going to happen soon.
Soonish.
But I also feel like we are kind of in control of which awakening it's going to be.
Like the plural, we like the entire country?
Not Mike and I.
No. I was going to say, please don't put that on me.
If your faith,
don't put that on me.
If your faith rests in us, you will be disappointed.
Because this is my idea of how it should go.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of forgiveness.
That's the sound of people drowning, Carl.
That is what forgiveness sounds like. Screaming and then silence.
California.
California.
Brett, Disneyland's there. Uh-huh.
Didn't forget. Just don't care.
That played out perfectly.
I was ready. Didn't forget. Just don't care.
So we go through all of this last year, on top of all the idiocy of the 12-ish years before that, if not more.
No, you look like an idiot.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And last year especially, though, you can't go to the really cool custom furniture place because they're not essential. But you could go pick up the prefabricated thing at Walmart that will fall apart in
because
6 months, because that's essential. You couldn't go to the custom T-shirt shop to get some unique, cool T-shirts, but you could go to Super Target and grab some shirts and pants there because that's essential. You can't go to your favorite mom and pop restaurant that had the best Philly cheesesteaks in town because they were too small. They wouldn't be able to properly social distance everything, so they're not essential. I mean, they could still do outdoor dining or drive-through. Oh, you don't have that set up to do outdoor dining or drive-through. Well, you could set it up real quick. Oh, you don't have the money to get that set up real quick. Oh, I guess you'll just have to close your business until this pandemic is over. Meanwhile, McDonald's can just keep pumping the burgers out.
Literally pumping them out. You can't go to church because that's just asking for all kinds of trouble. But the strip club can stay open because that's essential. Also, you can't go to the theaters, but Hollywood can keep making movies. Because that's essential.
That was designed just to get them out of their contracts with the movie theaters.
Yeah.
We all know it.
Yeah. My point is, they're going to fence in your churches. They're going to shut down your businesses. They're going to keep doing all of this so long as you keep allowing them to do so. The only rights you lose are the ones that you give up. The only rights you keep are the ones that you fight for. Right?
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
So what do? Well, we shared a nice little map for you that shows you which businesses you probably should be supporting. If you believe that you should be free to choose whether or not you wear a mask. Last week we shared some of the businesses that were involved with the Georgia thing because, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't be supporting a business that thinks that things are racist, so it goes to a place that by all demographics is more racist than the place that they were at originally. That being said, myself boycotting the MLB will do absolutely nothing because I don't
watch the MLB
nor go to their games. Me boycotting Coke doesn't really mean much because I don't drink Coke.
Well, Coke has other products.
I don't drink Coke.
I don't sniff it either, so
I don't drink Sprite. I don't drink Dasani. Anyone that does drink Dasani and loves it is weird. Tastes like carbon.
Not wrong. You're not wrong.
And I get it. They have other products and stuff, and I've probably enjoyed them from time to time, and whatever sport drink might be owned by them eventually. There is, however, Home Depot was on that list. I'll shop at Lowe's. I'll shop at Ace. I will go out of my way to find that local home improvement store that has the lumber and stuff that I need for whatever project. I'll do that.
I was right. Coca-Cola owns Powerade.
I drink Gatorade.
I do too, because Powerade. Wow.
I mean, not wrong.
It's not wrong. Powerade tastes awful. I've never liked any of the flavors they have, so don't really care.
The only one I've mildly enjoyed is the sour apple, and that's for like 2 sips, and that's that's it. But yeah, I don't go to church, so I don't need to worry about my church being fenced in. Well, my church does online things now, so I don't have to worry about them closing the church building. Yeah, for now. If you keep letting them do that, you're never going to get to go back to church. And if you don't go to church at all, well, that's fine because the bars are closed. Or your favorite
venue is closed because, for your safety. It's for your safety that you can't meet in church and sing. You can't sing in church. That's for your safety. We need to get rid of firearms for your safety. Why?
We need to get rid of free speech for your safety.
We need to put filters on social media for your safety because you're too dumb to know when it's a fake news article or when it's false news. Oh, like the 60 Minutes report on Ron DeSantis vaccine handling in Florida? Like that one? All right, has CBS been banned from their social media sites for reporting that? No? Oh. Oh.
Interesting.
Is anyone apologized to New York Post for the Hunter Biden thing that forensics has come back and said, yes, that is his laptop that New York Post originally reported on? Has anyone apologized to the computer repair shop owner that broke the story to the FBI, the New York Post, and others because he didn't trust the FBI? No? Oh. Well, that's fine because he's not in business anymore because of all the threats that he was getting. But hey, that guy that refused to bake the gay wedding cake is still fighting court battles on gay marriage stuff because, that's important.
Right?
Apparently. The problem with society, as we've said before, it's not the politicians. The politicians are the symptom. The problem with gun violence, it's not the gun. It's not the access to guns. It's not people who love guns. It's not even mental health. Those are symptoms. All of this reflects the health of society as a whole.
Well, it's supposed to be separation of church and state.
Separation of church government from state government. It's a difference between separation of religion and state and separation of church governing and state governing. It's a difference. Yeah. There's an awakening coming. There's an awakening coming.
It's an awakening coming.
There's an awakening coming, and it is up to us to determine what type of awakening that is. Is it going to be an awakening where China kicks off World War III and we finally realize, oh crap, maybe we should have been paying attention to more important things than whether or not kids should get sex changes at 3 years old? Or are we going to have a great awakening where it's more of an enlightenment, where we realize, oh, we've been lied to from everything that says it's an authority figure. And then we clean house. No, not violence. There's elections. Next year, we have all of Congress, all of the House of Representatives is up for re-election. What if anyone that's been there for longer than 3 terms kicked out, gone?
Oh, how lovely that would be.
That's a lot of seats. And yes, I realize that there'd probably be some actual good people that would be kicked out of that, but I don't care. Because the status quo isn't helping us right now.
Well, if we just do this, then
they'll be in a position where they'll have more. No, that's not how it works. It's not how it's supposed to work. And the reason why we can't get term limits is because people like Nancy Pelosi are there, who's been there for years. 40 years, 50 years, however long it is that we figured it out.
Yeah, it's a long time. They've all been there for a long time.
Joe Biden was in there in the Senate and all that for 50 years. He accomplished a lot, right? Mm-hmm. So much so that he's still doing exactly what he did before, a whole lot of nothing. And anything that he does get to happen turns out to actually be super racist and destroys the country. Yeah, real cool. Real cool, guys. Real cool. That was the appeal of someone like Donald Trump. It wasn't his turn. He wasn't supposed to be there. That's why Republicans hated him at the beginning. And technically they hated him throughout, but they played the game because they wanted to get reelected. Once they realized that he was no longer going to help them get reelected, they turned on him. Romney. Backstabbing political hack. Yeah. It is up to us. Get involved with your school boards, with your city councils, with your county officials, with your sheriff. Because all of those things are the safeguards against your liberties. And you are the last line of defense for your liberties. But you are the first to get them back. I think that's all I got.
Yeah, well, that's...
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Yeah. Yeah, I was planning on this week having a bunch of firearm stats and stuff because of Joe Biden's stupid talk. But then I didn't have time over the weekend because someone thought they knew more than me about the Georgia law.
Just go watch Steven Crowder did a Change My Mind. It's good.
It's solid.
It's solid.
And then his Monday show covered everything basically that I probably would have covered. So and
yeah,
more.
His Monday show did good too.
He actually has a research team.
He does. He does have a research team.
So
we have day jobs.
We do this for fun, apparently.
We do this for fun on the side. He does this for work.
So we convince ourselves.
Yeah.
This is fun. It's fun.
I'm having so much fun.
Yeah. I will say one more thing. Something I learned from my debate with this person on the Book of Faces on the Georgia election law. If you know that what you believe is true, if you know the things that you know are true, without a doubt, hold that line. Do not yield if you know without a shadow of a doubt that what you believe is true. Do not yield. Don't give an inch because they will take a mile. And when you see the falsehoods beating against your shield, you call out the hypocrisy of it. You beat them down with more truth. That is the only way that you will not just win arguments, but change what is actually spread around. You hold that line. Yeah. Hold. Wait until they're in range. Fire the insults. Yeah, that was fun. It ended with a 900-word essay from myself, completely dismantling everything that he said was racist about the Georgia bill, using the Georgia bill citations that he had. And yeah, it ended up with everyone in the comments not liking him. And everyone was more educated on the bill, whether they wanted to be or not. Hold the line.
Yeah.
Don't yield. That's all I got. That's it. Done. Don't give me more ideas or I'll keep talking.
Okay.
Okay. One more thing. I'm just kidding.
One more thing.
Jackie. Great show.
有冇乖乖發現手？有冇乖乖發現手？
Did you know that Jackie Chan was only the voice at the beginning of the movie, at the intro of the show?
No.
Yeah. He didn't. Jackie Chan did not voice Jackie Chan. He was just the intro.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you know the rest of the story.
Yep. Well, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. Don't know why that happened. Formatted the SD card, and suddenly my soundboard speaks Russian at me.
The Ruskies have tuned in.
Has Hunter Biden been playing with my soundboard?
Oh, maybe. That might be Hunter Biden's soundboard.
Hunter Biden's sound.
It might be. It might not. It might be a Russian
Maybe
asset.
it may not be. Maybe it was hacked by Russia. Who knows?
Who knows?
Son of a...
Sir. Yes, sir.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
All right, let's begin our quote-unquote short episode.
Well, see, now you jinxed it again. Now I got to go back and...
The harp of repair.
Harp of repair. It's
harp of mending.
Okay, here we go.